add on to what J.B. Muturi has told us. We should be asking him, Mr. President, you've lost it. I think you need help. The only way we can help you is to ask you to take a break and go home, because he needs help. This man is the worst president that the Republic of Kenya have had, but in his mind, and that's where this man has a problem. In his mind, he believes that he's the best president that Kenya has ever had.
In his mind?
In his mind. Can you imagine? Does he want to tell me that people have forgotten about Kiamba? These Murima fellows. Have they forgiven?
You're going there?
I'm just asking you. It's a question. The man would actually pray that the earth or the ground opens and he goes in and it closes.
If he knew.
If he knew what Kenyans think about him.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post-Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
A very good day to you and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted. My name is Jadiel Kabiro. I'm so glad that you've joined us once again for these conversations here. Conversations that we say we hope will help our political leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. Philip Kisia says, if the truth shall kill them, let them die. So he speaks the truth as he says it. He's a leadership and governance expert, former Nairobi town clerk, ex-KICC CEO, doing a lot for this country now, even as the executive director of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party. Great to see you. How have you been? A new week, end of the week actually. How are you?
You must have had it good, man.
Yeah?
The week has ended and...
How have you been?
I'm okay. I am okay, just receiving shocking news. But it's not shocking to me.
Let's get into your reflection as you tell us this shocking news.
I don't know whether you've had an opportunity to listen to Justin Muturi.
Yes.
The immediate former CS for public service. Look out for the video.
I think William Ruto is a person with two personalities. The William Ruto that presents himself to the public is a completely different character from the one that sits behind in the office and crafts stuff. I think that kind of person is quite a dangerous character. I think William Ruto is actually unfit for the position of President of the Republic of Kenya. I have come sadly to that conclusion. And I have no bitterness. For me, I just feel my own assessment. When I watch William Ruto sometimes talking to members of cabinet and to see him say, I do not want to see corruption in my government. Then I start wondering, who is this talking?
Revelation after revelation. Billions, Ruto is unfit, Ruto has two characters. What do you make of this?
If nothing else, the son of Mama Grace, one Philip Kisia, has been vindicated. I have for months, for 2 years now, been talking about this man and warning Kenyans and telling Kenyans that this is a dangerous man we're dealing with. But some of you, even some of you in the media,
some of us,
some of you,
me too,
including you, you kept on saying that I'm very hard on William Ruto. I'm happy that what you're calling a revelation is coming from none other than his immediate former AG, immediate former cabinet secretary for public service. But is it shocking? Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had warned you people, especially you people from the Murima. He told you this is a dangerous man. He should not come near power. But you refuse to listen to him. In fact, some of the problems that this country is going through is as a result of you not listening to Prince Uhuru. He is so very far. If nothing else, give him credit for seeing through this man and warning you to avoid him like plague. But here we are. You've heard what Justin has said. This man is unfit to hold public office, leave alone the office, the highest office on land, the president, the CEO of the Republic of Kenya. He has said he is irredeemably corrupt. When you say you cannot redeem, it means that you cannot help. You probably require Jesus Christ to come to save us, or even to save him. But this is a man you cannot save. You cannot redeem him. He is completely corrupt. That also confirms the report that was released a few months ago, that he is the second most corrupt man on earth. It has actually also vindicated those people. And therefore, certain things that I picked up from that video, of course, to me, were not shocking. But when a whole president calls you, when you are in between airports, Justin is telling us that he was in between airports. He was at the lounge. You know these VIPs, VIP lounge,
Yes.
enjoying maybe a shot of something, or maybe a cappuccino.
Yeah.
And he gets a call from none other than the head of state telling him, sign those things, sign them. How can a man sign a document, an official document, in a lounge, airport lounge? Now you can understand how pedestrian our president is. He is expecting an official document for the AG to append his signature somewhere in Dubai. This is a dangerous person. We've warned you. I warned you. The son of Muigai Kenyatta warned you. I warned you. Some of us have warned you. But you failed to listen to us. So those are the consequences of it. So the question then would be, because I've heard the name of Aden Mohammed being mentioned as a person who was moving issues, who was moving files. Now, there's this deal here, there's something here. Can we do something about it? He also must come out publicly and deny or confirm what Justin Muturi has told the world. And for the head of state, this is the time for him to come out clearly and confirm to Kenyans our worst fears, at least my worst fear, that President Ruto has never had intentions of fighting corruption. Because as explained by my friend Muturi, he's the officer corrupt number one. You don't expect him to fight corruption. So what he has been talking about is lip service. We are going to fight corruption, we're going to fight corruption. His mouth speaks something different from the actions. We've never had a president calling ministers while they are in between airports, giving them directives on what to do.
Thinking,
so this is a man that should not be holding
for
office.
Kenyans thinking this is just a bitter man, Muturi, who has been fired.
It cannot be a bitter man. He has stated, this is a very serious statement that Justin Muturi has made, JB has made. If indeed JB is wrong, if indeed JB is peddling propaganda, the president of the Republic of Kenya must come out clean on this particular one. We are not going to entertain his nonsense anymore. On this one, we must take him head on. He must be taken head on. These are public funds that you want to, to dish out and to spend, these are public issues. These are not your personal resources. So Kenyans should look at that matter with the weight it deserves. And if we were serious, President Ruto should hand in his resignation on Monday. If he does not, let him deny or confirm. Let him deny that just J.B. Muturi has not spoken the truth. If he keeps quiet, he is confirming what J.B. has told us. And that being the case, the man should tender his resignation. We should not wait for 2020. The second reflection I have this week, coming hot on the heels of the statement that we issued by Nordin Haji, NIS, and our CDF, matters touching on politics. For the first time, we had people in the security discipline forces, security, for commenting on matters political.
Yes.
Again, even before the dust could settle, we have the IG who purportedly was following the president to execute his mandate, as we have been told, under the National Police Service Act, Section 10, subsection 4. He's covered. He's supposed to be doing his job to provide security, not only for the Kenyans, but for the president. So to that extent, I personally have no problem with him. I have a problem when he contradicts the leadership and integrity chapter. More specifically, Section 23, subsection 3, where it forbids public servants from engaging in any matters to do with politics. It also forbids public servants to support any political group or opposition. By him making the statement, asking wananchi whether the president should continue, whether the president should come back, and what have you, those are issues to do with it has nothing to do with providing the president with the security he so deserves. And therefore, the IG, and I agree with the Law Society of Kenya, the IG must, on that account, for defiling the Leadership and Integrity Act, the section I've quoted,
Yes.
Section 23, subsection 3, he must therefore apologize. If he does not apologize, I expect LSK to take him to court, and any other Kenyans. And we must all be very angry when we start seeing people who are not supposed to be near politics engage in matters to do with politics. We must get very worried. The third one and the last one,
Yes.
the reflection I have, and which is sad. And again, please look for that video. I think I was in Meru or somewhere, where the president was launching some small sanitation and sewage project. And Kenyans are making fun out of it. Just look for that video.
See, this is what the president
This
was
is what the
launching,
president has been launching right now in Maua town. Eh?
Let's show them.
can
Let's
see,
show
you
them.
can
Let's
see.
show them. Let's show them.
Chukua lebo, ni ukweli kitu imelaunchiwa leo tu.
Na washaamua kutoa hata lebo yao mapema.
Angalia.
This is what has been launched. This is what our president has been launching
here
Come
in Maua
on,
town.
we love our president.
Today.
What a wonderful president do we have. Just see the signature. We love our president. What a great president we have. Look, just look at the system.
How shameful is this? We are overreacting to the launches.
My God, how can you say we're overreacting? Do you know who the president is? The president is the CEO of the Republic of Kenya. Now, when the CEO of the Republic of Kenya takes a job of an undersecretary in government, that's a job of not even a permanent secretary or a principal secretary, leave alone a minister. That's a job of an undersecretary or an MD of the water and sewerage company to go and launch, not even commissioning, launching, not even commissioning. Maybe I would have forgiven him if he was commissioning. He went to launch a small little project, and you can see Kenyans making fun out of it. Kenyans are mocking this man. Kenyans are wondering whether the president has no job. People are asking whether the president should not be sitting in the office and planning and directing. Planning, directing, coordinating, communicating, evaluating. That's the job of a CEO. But when a CEO reduces himself to inspecting and launching small little projects that should be left to junior officers, there are many, many questions to be answered. There are many, many questions to be asked. When you see a whole president flagging off 4 lorries carrying poles, 4 lorries, Jed, 4 lorries, you ask yourself whether Kenya and Kenyans are indeed serious, because that can never be the job of a group CEO. That should not even be the job of the MD of Kenya Power and Lighting, or is it Kenya Power and Darkness? It should never be. But we are stooped so low to the point that the president is so desperate to prove that he's doing something, and in the end, make him look terribly bad. This surely is not anywhere in the description, job description of the CEO, Republic of Kenya. It is sad. It is very sad, Jed. If I was, you know, and we are his bosses, we should be very angry. We should be asking him to resign by Monday. Add on to what JB Muturi has told us. We should be asking him, Mr. President, you've lost it. I think you need help. The only way we can help you is to ask you to take a break and go home, because he needs help. So finally, let's look at
one highlight
one highlight before we dive in.
Yeah.
You know, I think I feel sorry for Kenya. Oh, Kenya, I feel sorry.
Why?
I feel sorry for Kenya. When you have thousands of our youth riding hundreds of border-borders, following a president, it's a confirmation that people are idle. It's a bad sign. We aspire to be like Singapore. We aspire to be like Malaysia. But look, a president goes somewhere, and on queue, there are like 1,000 border riders. Each border is carrying 2-3 people. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Yet we want to be like Singapore. We want to be like Malaysia. We want to be like those countries. We want to be like, my God. Go to China. Will you find 1,000 borders following the president? You may not even find one, because they are gainfully engaged. They are busy doing their work. And the president is busy doing what he's supposed to do. Not mobilizing people to come and, just, work on your ego, make you look good, give you the, just make you feel good, make you feel important. When you are not important, you forget that you're a servant leader. You are supposed to be exercising servant leadership. This man, and from a management perspective, I can tell you, Jed, the biggest resource that we have, there are two. People focus on money. The two big resources we have in management, number one is man, you and me, man. Because it is through man as a resource that all these other resources, other than the God-given resources, it is man that makes everything else happen. The second biggest resource, in fact, probably the first one, but without man, then it doesn't really count. Minutes, time. The second biggest resource. So you can imagine mobilizing about 4,000 or 5,000 people to follow you the whole day. What a waste in terms of minutes. What a waste.
Let's watch that video.
Look at that video. What a waste. What is so shameful. It's so shameful. In fact, Kenyans should force President Ruto to resign.
You're expecting some resignations on Monday, IG Kanja, William Ruto, but is the problem the people or the leaders too? If you look at all these people trooping to the president, the philosophers or those who like to think a lot would say, you are the people giving these guys the power. You are the people giving Akina Ruto the power. What do you make of this video? And Kenyans
you see, I think, of course, the people who sometimes, and I don't want to be harsh on ourselves, because I'm a Kenyan. But when you plant a mango, don't expect an apple. You'll get a mango. So when you put into office an incompetent manager, don't expect excellent results. President Ruto, by every standard, by every definition in management, he has confirmed that he's incompetent. So we should not expect good results from an incompetent manager, and more so, a leader who has been declared corrupt by even international organizations. It's a waste of time. There's no hope. Jed, President Ruto has consumed 56.7% of his time in office. You know, he only has 60 months. He is left with about, I think, 26 or thereabout months, or 25 in office. And according to Kenyans, according to opinion polls that have been released, he has been given a D+. In fact, I was with some group yesterday, they gave him an F. F. You know me, I'm a bit, I've been a bit, fair to him. I've been given a D+. They gave him an F. Now, you see, because, the results are cumulative. If indeed you have scored a D, and you've spent 57% of your time, even if you were to score an A, which is next to impossible, the results at the very best will be a C-, at the very best. But if, going by his record, 57% of his time he is on a D, the likelihood that will improve in the, in the last half of his tenure, I can tell you, even if miracles were to happen, and he stopped his bad behavior, he got competent people to work for him, he'll get to probably a C+. Now, a C++ plus a D+ can only get you cumulatively a C-. Is that what Kenyans are looking for? Kenyans want better. We thought that he would do better than Uhuru Kenyatta. This man is the worst president that the Republic of Kenya have had, but in his mind, and that's where this man has a problem. In his mind, he believes that he's the best president that Kenya has ever had.
In his mind?
In his mind. Can you imagine? Is this guy okay? Is he okay? People are saying that you have failed, you are D+. In your mind, you believe that you are the best thing that Kenya's ever had. Is the man of sound mind? I think we need to ask ourselves very hard questions.
But will this matter? I think this is my conversation today. President William Ruto has been in Mount Kenya, trying to show that he still holds influence there. Actually, dailies are putting that he said he is still the king of the region. But before he did that, he had an interview with media practitioners from the area, vernacular media stations, and the president came up with accusations against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. There are also calls for him to include more people from the region in his government, from Peter Munya to others, so that he can strengthen his grip of the region. Kisia, let's start from the interview. The president had this interview, accused Gachagua of wanting 10 billion, accused Gachagua of quarreling with everyone, accused Gachagua so many other ways. Was this a good political or strategic move to have this interview and talk the way he did about Gachagua? And has it affected Gachagua in any way when it comes to his stance in Mount Kenya?
You know, Jed, please stop using words like strategic move. Do you know what strategy is?
You plan?
Do you know what strategy is? It's a grand plan of action. Now, the results you can see, if it was a grand plan of action, then he has miserably failed. Totally failed. And people of Mount Kenya were not coming to listen to him about the lamentation about Rigathi, about Justin Muturi, about his cabinet secretaries. He is the CEO. People are expecting him to tell us from the promises he made, this is what I've done in the time that I've been in office. The roads are built. I promised you 1,000 kilometers. I've done 50%. Okay? But look at the roads. Mau Mau roads, for example. They are still where Uhuru left them. And from the information that we have gathered, he talked about, I don't know, having done 1,000 kilometers. He is completing Uhuru's work, which is about 560 kilometers. So where is this 440 kilometers? Have they eaten the money? Because that cannot be seen. Where is it? Are they saying that the money has been paid and there's no road? Where is this road? We are not saying, Jed, that, and from a management perspective again, the principle of Wumbwa is good. Management by walking around is encouraged, okay? Once in a while. to have a feel of what your people are doing. But it should not be that you are replacing the people that you have appointed to do the job.
Oh.
Then you would rather sack all of them and do the job yourself. Okay? Because a waste of time. Why have people you've appointed and you're not giving them a chance to deliver? Again, I get back to the eight M's of management. You have manpower. There are minutes. There's management. There's marketing, machinery, and so on and so forth. Management information system. All those are resources that you, as the CEO, is supposed to plan, to organize, to coordinate, to communicate, to budget, to evaluate. That's the job of a CEO. The job of a CEO is not about nuts and bolts. But getting back to his interview, in my view, it was a total disaster. Okay? He talked about things that people can quickly verify. Exports to Sudan. The following day, the embassy was saying, listen, we stopped this nonsense on 11th of March. We stopped this nonsense. So, and then the people involved in the industry were saying, actually, there are two lordships, two lords of ship with tea, somewhere. Yeah? Just somewhere in a port. Okay? So why is the president lying even on things that can be verified about our neighbor here? And he knows what he has done to our neighbors. And our neighbors have actually said, listen, Mr. President, we are going to retaliate. That what we've done is not enough.
Yeah.
We're still coming for you. So Kenyans should be prepared for hard times from our neighbors. Then he talked about stabilization of the education sector. You are in the media. You know our children are learning under trees. You know that the infrastructure for education is not adequate. How can you talk about stabilization when we don't have the infrastructure for education? Basic. Leave alone even the computers that used to. Nowadays, it doesn't even talk about computers. You know, when he was appointed, he had two laptops there and saying, no, my government is digital, and it's all nonsense. The man was not serious. And I agree with J.B. Muturi. When you see any project that the president is trying to push, it must have some budgetary issue. Serious benefit to himself as a person.
Yeah.
Okay? In the same interview, he talked about teachers. It's a national matter that can be verified, that I have employed, no other president has done it. I have employed 70,000. When you go back to records, we find it's only 56,000 teachers who have been appointed. And there are many other interns who are still just loitering around, nothing is happening, okay? But when you talk about now we have $10 trillion in the reserve. No, $10 billion, not trillion. $10 billion
Yes.
in the reserve, okay? But people's pockets are empty. Tuko mawaya. Eh? People are suffering.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
The purchasing power has been weakened.
Yeah.
We have no money in the pocket. Food security is a challenge. We are doing a lot of importation, still importing a lot of basic food commodities. You know, and you are saying that we are doing well as an economy. If the economy is doing well, Jed, people just feel it. There'll be a feel good. Like now, you'll be smiling very broadly, knowing that after this interview, it's a Friday, and you are going to do what? To enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But I know the pain that Kenyans are going through.
Yes.
It's pain that Kenyans have never experienced since independence. Getting back to people of Morima, the man went there. He has destroyed their businesses. You know, I mean, I'm a Nairobian, man. I've been around. And I know they're complaining. Their businesses have been destroyed. Kikuyus or people from Central Morima are business people. So when you destroy their businesses through high taxation, through I don't know what, they can't make any profit. They can't even borrow because the banks are lending government money. They have no access to credit. You are destroying the people from Morima. They're business people. When now, you know, almost 80% of the landlords in Nairobi are from the Murima. When you destroy where they are getting some little money from rent, and yet you had promised that no demolitions will be carried out. And if they're to be carried out, it will be in a structured way. People will engage the people, that there'll be alternatives. It will be done a humane way. But we just come and remove structures with bulldozer without giving compensation, without taking care of people. Do you want to tell me that the Murima people were listening to him? They had gone there because of their board allowance. The board allowance, I'm told, the board allowance was 5,000. But the people of Murima let us down.
Yeah.
The Murima should have asked, because now he'll stay another 6 months before going there. Okay? The people of Murima, every border should have been asking for 60,000, 10,000 per month until he comes back. Okay?
Yeah.
And then he talks about, I'm going to get back Munya and Muturi into my government. To do what? It will be shameful. I hope somebody like Peter Munya, that I respect, will not be given some board chairmanship or what have you. And he has been a cabinet secretary. He has been a governor. So what job can William Ruto give this man? What job can he give my friend Mithika Linturi? He's saying, I'll bring them back to government. The people in Murima are not interested with who is in government or who is not in government. They just want a conducive operating environment for their businesses to thrive. So it doesn't matter. You can get whatever you want in government, get Kabogo in government, get Munya in government, get whoever want to get Wairimu in government. So long as the Murima, the business environment is not favorable, is not conducive, you will never be there.
So it doesn't matter what
he
says about Gachagua.
Forget about what he says about Gachagua. That's not important. So long as the Murima cannot do business, I can tell you for free, they can never be friends. But there are even many other issues. Does he want to tell me that people have forgotten about Kiamba? These Murima fellows. Have they forgiven?
You're going there?
I'm just asking you. It's a question. These are things that happen. Why are you pretending they never happened? They happen. These are things that happen in this republic. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. One day, we must bring this matter to closure. I am not in the group of people who sweep matters under the carpet. I follow things to a logical conclusion. We may be few, but I'm telling you, Jed, so long as we're still breathing and God has allowed us to breathe, we are taking this thing on to a logical conclusion.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think this trip was important for Ruto? Why do you think this development going into Mount Kenya, especially when you see the tensions that have been there between Ruto and Gachagua and even some leaders in Mount Kenya? Why is this tour important for him?
I think Ruto was doing two things. The first thing, he was testing the water. He was testing the water. But in testing the water, he has found that the water is so hot, it's boiling. It's boiling. It has burned his feet, his fingers, it's burned. Everything.
Yeah.
Okay? So by the time he comes back, I think he's coming back over the weekend. I feel sorry for him. I think he'll be in problem. Because you guys have really cooked him.
How?
I'm telling you. He has given you everything that you would have given. In fact, the strategy of not getting rid of some of the principal secretaries was to, when he goes, say, you see, I am not vindictive, I'm still accommodating people in government, although you seem to be, dovetailing towards Rigathi and others. Okay, but I'm okay, I'm accommodative. People in Murima don't give a hoot. Just give them a proper business environment. The other thing that that I think that he was trying to do in testing the water, it was a contest between him and Rigathi. But the people of Murima are very interesting. They just looked at him. They didn't say anything. In fact, from my own interpretation, they're saying, what a fool. What a fool. You think we are fools? I think you're the one who's a fool. So we'll just look at you. If we just look at you, finish your business, maliza uende. You have no business being here, because don't come and talk about Rigathi here. In any event, you are the one who appointed him. You are the one who got him to be a running mate. You are the one who appointed the cabinet secretaries. If they are failing, they are most probably failing because you yourself, you are a failure and you are incompetent. The other thing that, I suspect that the people of Murima would have wanted him to, to engage in a more constructive manner. But going where there's a marketplace, interfering with the business. In fact, it was like, please, Mr. President, please, hurry up and go. You're interfering with our businesses.
No, the president.
You are interfering with our businesses.
He says
Just,
he's still the king of the region. And when you look at how Gachagua has been trying to rally the opposition, how would you assess
how can he be
Ruto's
king? King of what?
assertions?
No, king of what? In any event, Jed, in my own estimation, his ratings have really diminished, almost to zero in Murima. But in his mind, we start off by saying that in Ruto's mind, people love him, he's popular, he's competent, in his mind. But I wish he sat down with people who are honest like me, and I'll tell him what the Kenyans think about him. The man would actually pray that the earth or the ground opens and he goes in and it closes.
If he knew.
If he knew what Kenyans think about him. If he were to be honest with himself. But I think he first of all needs to be honest with himself. He's not honest with himself. But if you are to be honest, I can tell you, do you know sometimes you get to a point and say, afadhali hii ardhi funguke namna hii, I just go in and it shuts so that I can go completely. Never to be seen again.
But if I ask you as a manager, fellow of management, how important are these tours when it comes to talking to people directly? This is what he's been doing. It was in Western, it was in Mombasa. Speak about it in management terms. Do they change perception in any way? Do they bring approval ratings high, especially when you are in touch with the people?
You see, there's no problem, Jed. I said, the principle of Umbwa is encouraged in management.
Yes.
Once in a while. You just want to get a feel. You want to engage, because politics, you want to get a feel of the people. Okay? You want to test. But when you are going on the ground as a manager, okay, you are going to verify. You're going for verification. Because people don't want to see your face, for heaven's sake. Don't think that you're too handsome. They are not interested. They want you not to launch, but to commission. That out of the lists of things that I promised you, it is done. And if it is not done and there's an issue, then as the CEO, you pick it up, okay, and immediately institute corrective measures. But even then, as a good manager, must you be there, seated on a rooftop, or stand on a rooftop, and say, nitafanya, nitatenda? Why are you repeating yourself? You've already told us that through your manifesto. Nitafanya, nitatenda is in your manifesto. What people want to hear is nimefanya, and this is it. These are the results. But even then, you don't have to be there physical, because if you have done, they'll feel it, and they'll send you feedback. And if this person ever believed in performance management, if you ever believe in performance management, the instruments to measure when work is done and when work is not done. There's a feedback mechanism that has been, there are tools that you can apply. He has a performance management unit. He's not using it. It's a waste of time. It only functioned during Kibaki's time. Now, it is just there by name. Because you can see, even when the performance contracts were signed, when were they signed?
I think
midway.
Yeah.
Midway.
A year in.
Midway.
Yes.
Where does it happen? Midway is reviewing. It's not signing. is reviewing progress, finding out gaps. Where there are gaps, then coming up with strategies on how those gaps will be addressed. But when a man, a serious man, that is not a manager, because a serious manager will not sign a contract midstream. We will be reviewing. It should be a midterm review. But you have a president who does not believe. J.B. Muturi has described this man so well. And if, in fact, like the advocates would have said, I have nothing useful to add. I think that should have, in fact, that clip on J.B. Muturi should have ended this interview.
Maybe before you tell me your review or your assessment of the whole tour, why do you dismiss the likes of Linturi, the likes of Munya joining Ruto's government when it comes to him trying to, get back that grip in the region? Why do you dismiss it?
What value are they going to add?
Simple as that.
What value? Number one, Ruto is the CS, Ruto is the PS, he's everything. His philosophy of management cannot change. So tell me what value that will these two gentlemen bring on board. And I have a lot of respect for my friend Peter Munya.
I think it's the Meru block that wants them in.
No, it is not Meru block. It is him who wants them in. You want to tell me there are no, in fact, there are no better people than Peter Munya and Linturi. You want to tell me, in any event, Mithika has issues.
There. I knew you were going
there. There
there.
are issues.
Yes.
No, don't say that.
I knew you were going
the man
there.
has issues,
yes.
my friend. There are
Fertilizer.
issues. Fertilizer. It has never been solved because the captain himself, President William Ruto Samoei, my friend, does not believe in fighting corruption. Give me one case, table one case, where Ruto has truthfully fought corruption. Show me one case. If it is edible oil, it died. Billions were lost. If it is fertilizer, we lost money, billions. If it is Arol Kibarer, he says we only lost 7 billion. We only lost 7 billion. Again, look at the president. If it's Adani Airport, we lost some money because I'm sure some money was lost.
Yes.
But he wanted to force people to sign with some Indian fellow, some Indian. Why didn't he go to Singapore? A serious man would have gone to Singapore or Malaysia or somewhere serious to come and help us put up an airport.
Yeah.
But this guy is going where he can be oiled. Yeah, can be oiled. I don't think he's serious about running this country.
So no one can come into his government to save him?
What I am asking you, what value do you bring?
Politically, perception, nothing.
Are we going to eat perception? Are we going to eat politics?
Yeah.
We want to eat efficiency. We want the economy to grow. We want money in our pockets. We want the food commodities to come down, be made available and at an affordable cost. This fertilizer they're talking about is not available. It's not available.
So finally,
So this is a man, Jed, who I'm telling you, Jed, biggest mistake Kenyans made was to give him a job of a CEO because he's not CEO material.
assess for me the whole Mount Kenya thing. Tour, different regions. We saw the heckling of Ichungwa, majority leader, and Mwangi Kiunjuri. How would you assess politically now whether Ruto has shown something to Mount Kenya people or even to the country that he still,
You see,
can speak to Mount
these
Kenya?
are President Ruto's henchmen, and who are being heckled.
Yeah.
So by extension, they are disapproving his henchmen, appointees, and they are just saying, we don't want anything to do with you. You are corrupt, you are incompetent, and why are you even bringing this? You are making it worse. In fact, the people of Mburima, I think, you deserve to be appreciated. You know why?
Why?
You are decent. You are directing your anger on poor Ichungwa. Who is Ichungwa? Who is it? Is this other MP, my friend? What
Former
do you call
CS.
him? This guy.
Mwangi
Kiunjuri. Who is he? As just a mere MP. And you are directing anger on Kiunjuri. You are driving him down, almost driving him into a grave.
Yeah.
Why? You people, okay, you are decent. You should just have faced this man and told him, man, it is you who have a problem with. It is you. Forget about these small little boys you are walking around with.
So
Forget about them.
So generally, your assessment, Ruto has spent, I think this is the 4th day there. Your assessment of the whole tour?
My assessment?
Yes.
On a scale of?
1 to 10.
1 to 10. 2 out of 10.
2, 4.
At least they saw the president.
Yeah.
People saw the president. And they saw this a man inflicting pain on us. Number 2, he left them with some money. But you people of Murima disappointed me because the board fee, the board fee, attendance, should have been 60,000 per border. 10, because you'll not be back until 6 months.
Yeah.
So 10,000 per month. And each attendee should have been paid at least 2,000.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation. 2 out of 10, that is from Kisia. What is your assessment of Ruto's tour in Mount Kenya? Leave a comment down below. But just as always, as we wrap up, final words to Kienda Weekend.
Well, tuko mawaya,
Yeah.
Jed, your Kenyans are feeling pain. But when the son of Jomo warned you, you never listened. So, kuleni kiburi yenyu.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have another chance in 2027 to make the right choices, to send William Ruto home, with numbers that have never been seen. You know, in 2002, we want to do better than 2002. But let me say this.
Yes.
Ruto keeps on talking about, transforming Kenya. Look for that video on Singapore and why Singapore has made strides.
Singapore has gone from being a third world country to a first world country. I'm going to share with you the secret of Singapore's success free of charge. If you implement this secret formula, your country will succeed. And I capture the secret formula with the acronym in English, MPH. The M stands for meritocracy. Meritocracy means that you select the best people to run the country. And what brings many countries down, especially in the third world, is that when it comes to selecting the finance minister or the economics minister, they will give their jobs to their brothers, their cousins, their uncles, their relatives, and not to the best people. The second pillar is P, and P stands for pragmatism. But the best definition of pragmatism was given by China's leader, Mr. Deng Xiaoping. It doesn't matter whether a cat is black or a cat is white. If the cat catches mice, it is a good cat. So in the same way, it doesn't matter what your ideology is. If it works, you use it. You're not bound by any ideology. But the third pillar, the H, is of course the hardest to achieve, because H stands for honesty. And indeed, what has brought most third world countries down has been corruption. And so Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, after he became Prime Minister, made it a point to punish not the junior people, but the very senior people. And that's the formula for Singapore's success.
It's MPH.
Yes. MPH.
That's how Singapore got where it is.
Yes. Does Ruto believe in meritocracy? Does he? He believes in mediocrity. Correct? Does Ruto believe in people pragmatic and ready to deliver, ready to work? Maybe pragmatic to the extent of stealing, but not in serving people.
Yes.
Honesty. Honesty. That is a word that is completely foreign in his government. They don't believe in honesty. So if you cannot exercise the philosophy of MPH, you can never be a Singapore. Forget about it. In fact, Ruto has taken us back to the 60s. And another 2.5 years, in fact, there may be no country called Kenya. The second and the last one, and this is specifically, I look for this video because of my friend William, because I want to help him. Because even if he's going down, the way I was brought up is you don't, when you see your friend going down, you put a hand and try and get him out of the hole. So I want to get William Ruto out of this hole that he's dug himself. Look for that video on the value of life.
Something for you to ponder. In 2019, in Japan, a bluefin tuna went under an auction for 3.1 million US dollars. It means a dead body of a bluefin tuna fetched in auction 3.1 million USD. At the same time, there was a news which is pretty sad. One of the billionaire's son, Singapore billionaire's son, died in Kuala Lumpur because of stroke at the age of 43. Just pause here for a moment and think. Does anyone will pay millions of dollars to a human dead body, though he could be a billionaire's son? The answer is no. When a person is dead and a human life is dead, the value is zero. But whereas a dead body of a fish, animal, cow, goat, sheep, whatever which people eat, even a dead animal's body got value. So what message do you get from this? The human life is only valued if you're healthy and you're able to function and live well. The moment a person is dead, no matter whatever be the title, prime minister, lawyer, accountant, doctor, whatever, billionaire, whatever, the value becomes zero. So what you should do? Live well, live healthy, and live long so you can enjoy all the money and all the beauty of the world. Do this and think it over. Remember this, huh? Dead human body got zero value.
No one can buy a dead human body.
Yes. It's all vanity. But the lesson that we must draw from that video is a dead person is of no value, zero value. A dead person. So it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars that, because Ruto, I think in his mind, he wants to be the richest man in Africa without working, without doing business. He wants to be rich without doing business.
We know his business is
of selling eggs. He wants to be a dollar billionaire without doing business. No business. Okay? Which is extremely dangerous, Jed. That you want to convert yourself into a billionaire through dubious means. Very dubious means. And you see, that's why people under him are also copying him. Okay?
Yeah.
So, you know, then if that being the case that eventually you'll just die and you'll be zero value, zero. Even those belts that he's buying, expensive, 1 million, shoes, I don't know, I'm told, you know, $4,000, you know, crazy amounts. Yeah? Suits and what have you, and watches, millions of shillings, and building mansions all over, building a mansion everywhere, Transmara, I don't know, in the Sugoi place, another one, Eldoret, another one, everywhere he's building. And when people say, Nordin Haji and our CDF says, they say that, oh, don't say Ruto must go. He will go, my friend.
Yeah.
Even Philip Kisia will go, Jed. Even you are going. You'll either going home or you go home to heaven. Mbinguni.
That's the reminder.
Mbinguni. But first of all, we must drop him down. And for him, we are proposing 8 feet. Bury him.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation with Philip Kisia. Till we talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Thanks for coming through, sir.
Thank you. But that is the destiny, whether we like it or not.
Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye for now.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house. This is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.